With us now, Lauren Rothman, founder of Style Tour, DC-based image management firm. Boy, I remember when, Obama's tan suit was just a huge thing, and now we've got tennis shoes in the Oval Office. What's going on?
That's right. I mean, the headlines are raging, and it is so important to remember that style is a superpower. It is not something that is just superficial, but it is actually a tool to be wielded with care. And sometimes that look of power is very polished. And sometimes, like the hybrid sneaker dress shoe that we saw at the Oval, we're getting a peek behind the scenes of what it's like inside.
Of what it is like to be so important that you have to wear. I didn't even know that something called hybrid sneaker shoes existed. It shows you where my sense of fashion it exists. Old-fashioned would be it. But look, this is what I think is interesting. The Oval Office is a place like any other. I'm old enough to remember when George W. Bush said, "You don't come in here without your suit jacket on." There was the huge kerfuffle during the Trump administration. Kellyanne Conway was on one of the couches in the Oval Office without her shoes on. She was sort of kneeling on one of the couches. It became this whole big thing. And yet you've got men who are wearing hybrid sneaker shoes, or what most people call sneakers, into the Oval Office. And it's a little bit of a thing, but not anywhere near this thing. And what I'm wondering is if there's a double standard between men and women.
Well, there is absolutely a double standard, and there's also pre-pandemic and post-pandemic in terms of dressing, what that looks like. When we were seeing Kellyanne take that photo, she was trying to capture a particular image, right? And for whatever reason, I wasn't in that room, but she felt like the best angle would be if she was seated in that way. And I think that that was really just an inside peek that got misinterpreted a bit. What we're seeing now is an intentional choice of what to wear to work and what that looks like in a post-pandemic culture. And that it's
a great point. Yeah, it's a great point of the way post-pandemic worlds work. Somehow I haven't figured out how to explain that to my mother when it comes to dinner time, but that's a different story, my own problem. You think about looking forward with this. You've got Casey DeSantis, First Lady of Florida, who's a big part of her husband's campaign. She was already filleted in a hatchet job by Politico. And she has been known for her style and for her fashion. Some have compared her to Jackie Kennedy in sort of her statuesque way and kind of how she handles herself. Is she going to get a fair shake, you think?
I think she is. She is setting the pace now for what a first lady is going to look like. If she makes it all the way to Pennsylvania Avenue, she is showcasing that with her style and her grace and with really her overall presence, that she is exuding what we have seen before in successful style for a first lady. We saw it with Jackie Kennedy.
I hear you, but you think about Melania Trump, who is as stylish and as fashionable as anybody. She certainly, a former fashion model. She was on way more covers of magazines before being first lady than she was as of first lady. We talked about a double standard men and women. Is there a double standard Democrat and Republican?
Well, I think it's really more about Melania was a model, right? Casey DeSantis is not. So her background's going to be different. And what we're seeing with her is really an intentional choice to understand the dress code of a successful first lady. Melania had style. That was natural for her and something she had experience in. For Casey, it's crafted and it's intentional and incredibly mindful.
Yeah, we've heard about that before when it comes to Casey DeSantis. Lauren, thank you very much. Good to see you. We appreciate it.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.